I'm going to explain the best way to get started in Illuvium Zero to you right now. So bear with me, we've got to wait through a couple of speed ups and things. I'll speed through it on the video, don't you worry. But we're going to cover some of the really important details. So as soon as you jump in your land, this is the free to play plot, which is mimicking a tier 3. When the game comes out, this might be mimicking a tier 2. I'm not sure. The first thing you're going to want to do in your land is clear all the plants. Why? Because it's free and you get these little credit things in the top right hand corner every single time you do so. Okay, so you're gonna want to clear every single plant. If you want to keep some of them, be my guest, but you'll simply go through, you'll click clear, all right? And then what will happen is it will do the timer, come down 7, 6, 5, you can see the seconds, and it will clear the plant. Now, I'm not going to use my speed ups for this because I need it for the next part of the video, but I will time lapse me clearing everything. So that'll be good. So watch through that right now. All right, now that you've cleared everything up, you can see that I've gone from 20 credits all the way up to 35. So that's a big win. So the first thing we need to build is our Nexus. Now, the goal for the first part of Illuvium Zero, in my experience, after having played this for a little while now, is to get your Nexus up to, I think it's level 4 or maybe level 5. It's whatever level where you need that one Krypton. You've got to get it to the level before then and then strive straight for the Krypton and get your Nexus to level 5. That will take you a little while there, and then you got to shoot your Nexus up to level 7 as soon as you possibly can. Up until you get to that point, your land is going to start to look a bit disjointed over time. Now, another strategy we need to consider is the paths. Now, they reduce the building time significantly. So if we went to build an extractor, a mine, no wait, we need the engineering workshop first. You need the engineering workshop is basically it basically restricts what you can build, so you can't upgrade to level 4 if you don't have an engineering workshop that is already level 4. And the engineering workshop is restricted by the Nexus, so those two work in tandem. So the other goals I have in mind here are getting about two of each converter, and the extractors are relatively unimportant, okay? They're a lot more powerful in things like a tier 4. If you've got your tier 1s and things, don't worry about the extractors too heavily. Go for the converters if you can, especially when it comes to fuel. The extractors don't matter that much either. So you might want to max them out later, but before then, focusing on converters is really important. So now if we look at the extractor, this mine says it's going to take 1 minute. Now I put it on top of the right material, it's going to take 1 minute, okay? But what we can do is we can put paths around it. So I put paths around this, for example. Oh no, I think that's a landmark, my bad. So if I put paths around this one, so it would have taken 1 minute. If I put paths around that and now go to build carbon, so you can actually click on the deposit itself and click build. This is an outcrop. It'll say 1 minute. It should have been, yeah, so it's been shortened down. It actually is gonna take 42 seconds and we'll let that finish up. Okay, so now that that's finished, we're just going to hit little thing, and every what is it, every 43 seconds, it looks like excavate is also influenced by the paths maybe. Every single 43 seconds, we're going to hit start activity, and then it will mine. I think it's for 300 of this resource, or it's different depending on the tier, so I'm not sure right now. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to build one of each extractor. That is the first step. As I said, we're going to focus on converters, but don't forget to build your paths first. So we're going to build one of each extractor. I will start using speed up soon. If you guys like the time lapse or you rather me just cut, let me know, because I'm actually really curious. So let me know in the comments down below. So you'll keep mining. So the beauty here is in the start of the game, we got to be able to keep clicking mining while we're waiting for other things to happen, which isn't too bad. Okay, and now we have done that. So the other thing we need to really consider is when we're building these extractors, we want them to be as far away from each other as we possibly can, because the converters need to bounce off of them. And I'll show you that very, very soon. So the next one we're going to do is click this lake and build a hydrogen pump. And as we do that, we're going to make sure to keep mining. So it's 250. Okay. A lot less on a T1. Let me put it that way. It's double on this. So it'd be 125 on a T1, I think. So we'll keep extracting from them. Again, converters are really important, so don't stress out about trying to build all of them. And it's actually mostly going to get in your way. We're almost at the really good part now, so just bear with me. All right, and we're back. So now we can see that we built the hydrogen pump. The next thing we're going to want to make sure to do, I better not forget these paths here. The next thing we're going to make sure not to forget is our storages. So if I build paths to ensure that I can allow for 2x2, and I think there's, I need 8 rows. No, not 8, 6, sorry. 6 rows, I can start to build the storages. So the carbon matter silo, which I cannot build. Oh, I need to upgrade the Nexus. So once you've built those 3 things, you've started generating some material. So I'll keep pumping the hydrogen. You need to upgrade your Nexus. Okay, so we're gonna upgrade it right now. We'll speed that up. And next what we need is we need storages. You can see I can only hold 2,500 carbon, which is gonna prove difficult because if I go to upgrade my Nexus again, it costs 2,700. So I need to make sure I have storages that can contain it. I just go to build and then storage. Carbon matter silo, put that in here. These ones are really, really fast, so I'm not going to skip through them. I don't know why these are particularly fast compared to everything else. Silicon. I love making beginner guides. If you guys are finding this helpful, don't forget to like the video. It really means a lot and it goes a long way. And then we build the last one. The hydrogen matter silo. This is one of my favorite buildings actually, to be quite frank. Alright. The next thing we need to do is start to get up our converters. Now remember our goal is 2 of each, but currently if we look at the info with the Nexus, we're only allowed 10 structures. Which means since we just built 3, we've got 2 left. Only 2, okay? Now, we need to go and get some converters. So what we'll notice here is that for converters, we need engineering workshop level 2. So typically every single time you upgrade your Nexus, it's good practice to then upgrade your engineering workshop very, very soon after. So I'm just gonna do the airdrop. So at this early stage of the game, you can also claim your rewards to give you that little bit of edge, but don't waste them without having your silos because then you'll lose a lot of resources. If I just claim the big one here and this one, then that will mean I can upgrade my engineering workshop. So now if we go to upgrade the Nexus, we still need 1,300 silicon. And you know what? I'm actually going to rush this because this is quite important. Getting our building limit up to 20, it's going to make our life a lot easier. So I'm actually just going to claim some more silicon here and then upgrade the Nexus. There you go, you can speed it up. So with speed ups, you can speed up, it costs 1 for up to 1 hour and 59 minutes, but every hour is technically 1 each. So at 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, you're looking at more credits to spend to upgrade and speed up and that sort of stuff. So we'll make sure to keep mining. It's really, really important. So next is where it starts to get interesting, is we get our converters. So if we're looking here, everything is 100%. Converters actually begin on, I believe, 80% and 70% for fuel converters. So if we grab the carbon converter, you'll see that if it's away from everything, it begins on 80%. But if we put it next to our outcrop, our carbon harvester, it gets really, really high. And I believe it doesn't actually need a harvester on it to get all of those adjacency bonuses. So if we put it near these two, that's really good. But we've got to make sure we keep it a little bit secluded from the silicon because it doesn't like other converters. So we'll just build it here. How long is it going to take? 1 minute. So we'll speed up through this. Actually, screw it. I'm just going to speed this up. So we start to get our converters. So we get that. I'll surround it with paths later. And we get 1 converter for each type. Oh my god, that was annoying. And make sure it's far away from the other converter. and you get this one up too. And now what we can do is we can start to use these to generate some meaningful amounts of resources. Now, would I upgrade them? I might do 1 or 2 conversions before I start to upgrade them, because you'll generate a lot of resources. And then we can go from there. I usually just pick, when I'm converting, you have to convert from one material to another, and you usually get 2-to-1 ratio back. It is more on higher tiers. The one thing you need to consider is that I usually pick whatever I have the most of in stock at the time. So in this case, when I'm converting to silicon, I can see that I have a lot of hydrogen, a lot of carbon, but I have more hydrogen than carbon. So that is the one I'll pick. And you'll start converting, and these are actually pretty quick as well. So you'll just start mining and converting like crazy. And then what you want to do is you want to keep pumping the resources, keep mining, keep converting, and you actually want to double up in your converters. Now, the hardest part about this is they need to be far away from each other, okay? So this still needs to be in range of the pump, but far away from the other converter. So what you can do is you can put it right on the edge of the pump, and you can move this one away so it's also on the edge of the pump, although they do get better benefits the closer they are to the thing. But you can move them away so you get 94% on both, and you can do that across the board. It's not too bad when you have 2 deposits really close to each other. They actually benefit, they don't really go below 100%, so it's not too crazy. If I just speed that up. So if I just build another carbon one, you can see it's not too bad. They're crushing each other a little bit. You move it a bit further away and make sure it's away from the other converter. So getting these placed early is going to make your life a lot easier down the track as well, when you don't have to worry too much about where they should be in relation to each other, and then you can focus on putting your other buildings around. So if I get this one here and I convert again, and you just keep converting. And what you want to do is, again, you want to ignore your harvesters, and you want to basically pump out and convert as much as you possibly can and reach this next Nexus level. Get it to Nexus 4, and just basically until you can upgrade the Nexus. The goal here is to just keep leveling up the converters, keep leveling up the storage, and maxing out both of them as much as you can. Try to keep the converters relatively balanced. It doesn't matter too much, especially if you have a landmark, you can get some pretty good benefits. But what I'm saying is that you've got, say, 2 of each converter, and you've got 10 spare building slots. Grab a bunch of silos and storages. Maybe you need a quantum fabricant for some of the later game buildings. But you stack up all of the storages and upgrade the converters as much as you can. And maybe you're not generating enough, so you get 3 or 4 of each converter, but you got to balance that and the storages together. Now, that is something I can't just give you a maths equation for. Not yet, not until I have all the data loaded. But get those 2 buildings, focus on them, get your Nexus up to level 7, and then you can start to diversify and trying to maximize your space, maximize your buildings, because between level 6 and 7 of the Nexus, you get 50 extra structures on your plot. So that's the really important takeaway here. So I hope this was helpful. If you had trouble with Illuvium Zero and I managed to help you get to that next stage and exceed and get faster and faster at starting off your plot, which you're gonna need of the reset, then please leave a like down below. I really appreciate it. Have a good day.